Well, this is not the best lighting, but I wanted to go over some stuff on my computer, and I am loving being outside right now, so this is me being outside. So I decided that as part of this challenge, I really want to do a mind map, and I'm going to make this grow as I do it, and it's basically going to be a chronicle of whatever rules I might come up with for this challenge, any tips that I have for listening to the positive voice, so sharing with everybody how I listen to the positive voice, and then just for me, what does the positive voice sound like and what does the negative voice sound like. So, so I was going to get started. Let's get started with the rules. So first rule I already talked about, I will upload 2 videos a day to YouTube. The second rule is, I just noticed this, when I don't know what to do and feel I have to get serious in my mind to figure it out, I just listen to the positive voice and don't act until I have something from the positive voice. So a good example of this, and I think a lot of the times sharing examples is helpful. So a good example of this would be, right now I just got home from the pool and I was teaching my son to swim, and he did a great job, and he really wanted to go watch a movie, and I ate some food, and he's having some food, and then I said, okay, now it's time for me to get some work done. What kind of work should I do? And my gut, my initial reaction is, okay, all right, what? And that is a detriment to my listening to the positive voice for sure. So I said no. Well, again, I'm trying to stay on the positive side of things rather than saying what I don't want to do. But I said I'm going to listen to the positive voice and just follow whatever it says. And so for a second I didn't have something, and then something came pretty quick, and now I'm recording this video. And then I guarantee you over the next 30 days there will be times when I don't listen to the positive voice. So when that happens, I'm going to report on it and I'm going to learn from it. I'm going to say, what did I learn? So I'm going to go over to what the positive voice sounds like to me. So what the positive voice sounds like to me, and again, what is really more like what it feels like: confident, light. Describe what it's not. Man, confident and light are 2 of the biggest. I would say assured, which is basically the same thing as confident, but I'm going to say optimistic. So I think I'm going to probably end up using a lot of similar words for this, but that's just one way. It's just inside me, even right now, like if I just tune myself to the positive voice, I just notice that I all of a sudden feel a little bit lighter, a little bit happier, a little bit more like, yeah, everything's going to be okay. And so I just had a thought while I was talking about this, and I really want to record it. No, I'll just keep going. So what the negative voice sounds like to me, absolutely 100%. It sounds pessimistic. I'm going to say overbearing, but / heavy, because it really just feels like a weight on me. It feels dark for certain. I can't say it is the negative voice, but anxious. Yeah, anxious is a really good one, because that is definitely what it feels like to me. Okay. So some tips for listening to the positive voice. That's what it is. I'm going to say, I don't know, the choice of listening to the positive. So, and the reason why I'm putting this heading, and maybe actually I'm going to put it under tips. But, yeah, I can't do it right now because it's closed. So let's open up tips and then let's put it in. So let's relabel this. It is a conscious choice you can make at. So I'll come and talk about that in a second. So some things that really help me listen to the positive voice: healthy food. I have been a nutrition person ever since I was young. My mom was really big into being healthy, and then I was a runner, and when you're a runner, you feel it if you eat junk food. I got to the point where even I would sometimes I'd really want some chocolate or candy bar, and I would chew it up and I'd spit it out just because I knew how bad it would weigh on my body. So healthy food is huge. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed, I've tried vitamins and I've tried health stuff and supplements and all sorts of different protein and protein bars and all that. One of the biggest things that I've noticed that has helped me feel good is eating vegetables. Like literally and honestly, like fresh made vegetables, whether that is, I don't really notice a distinct difference between raw and cooked, but it's vegetables that I make, and I actually shoot for a large percentage. Like one thing that has worked for me is to try to have 50% of the food that I eat be vegetable, and eat the vegetables first. The next thing is less sugar. I would say no sugar, but it's almost impossible to have no sugar, but less sugar. The less sugar I eat, the better I feel. Exercise, that is a must for me, and I will just say I have to sweat, and I have to be breathing heavy, and that's not, I don't have to, I do it 5 out of 7 days. That's my goal. And I do add in weight training, and with weight training, you don't have to necessarily be breathing heavy. It's not quite the same as cardio, but I'll try and do weight training at least a couple of days a week, if not more. So posture. I've gotten this from a lot of sources, but basically one of the things I don't know, I grew up in this weird bubble where it was like everybody who was wealthy was bad, and everybody who was proper was bad, and it's better to just be kind of like less proper. But all these parents are like, sit up straight, watch your posture, and it's like, and that was always this mean thing to me. And I learned that your body has a huge impact on your mind. And actually, another thing that I just learned is that you have more neurons in throughout your body than you do in your brain alone. And I was surprised to hear that, but a lot of your nerves are made up of the same neurons that your brain is made up of, and all that kind of stuff. I hope that's true. If it's not, I haven't really researched it yet. But the point is, it doesn't matter whether that's true or not. The point is, your body, your posture actually does impact the chemicals, the hormones that your body makes inside of yourself, and the way that you feel. So good posture, and I would just say shoulders back basically sums it up, although you want to have your shoulders back and down and your neck back and different things like that. But that's the main thing. Foam rolling. I have had a lot of incidents of muscular pain or joint pain in my life, and never knew what foam rolling was, but suffice it to say, I have been to chiropractors and doctors and massage therapists. Ironically, foam rolling is about the same thing as going to a massage therapist, but I just did it a lot harder. But the point is, things like foam rolling or like pressure, I think they call it myofascial release or something. I'm not really sure what it's called. That has saved me so much pain. I've had a lot of shoulder pain, and if I foam roll my shoulders, I feel better. Also, exercising helps me feel better, like doing weights and stuff. But the point is, foam rolling is awesome. Sleep. I would just say regular and enough, and you just have to do what is necessary to get yourself to be able to sleep. Meditation has been a mixed bag for me. I do think that it has helped my brain calm down. I don't know that I have felt huge benefits, but I do think that I felt benefits. And so, like, focusing on one thing, and this was really interesting on one things. This is really interesting is I realized you don't have to sit still and close your eyes and try and clear your brain. There are a lot of things in the world that are meditative when you do them. So some examples of meditative activities, I'm going to call it meditative activity, would be distance running, and that's because at some point you have to focus your brain in order to keep going. And I'm talking maybe even like racing, but like you have to kind of get your brain put yourself somewhere else in order to get through the pain. Uh, like dancing or something that requires coordination, coordinated activity. I'll say like woodworking or other similar crafts. I want to say golfing. I don't know that that's exactly it, but that actually is I mean, okay, I will say golfing if you focus on actually golfing and being good at golfing. And there are 1,000 more other things that you can do. Anything that's dangerous. Actually, I will say, people call them nunchucks or nunchucks, but nunchaku. So when I was younger, I took karate and I learned how to use them. And then recently I picked them back up. And you have to focus when you're using them or you're going to hit yourself. I've hit myself in the lip and it would barely hit my lip, and I was bleeding on the inside of my lip and stuff, and it hurt so bad. Thankfully, I had my mustache, otherwise it would have been even worse. And in the head and in the hands and elbows and all that, I mean, you have to focus. So just a couple ideas. Gratitude. So this is specifically feeling gratitude on purpose every day. And you can even just take, I mean, it can be as little as 5 minutes of focused, I'll put 5 minutes or more. 5 minutes of focused gratitude where you just see in your mind all the things that you're grateful for, and you just feel gratitude. One thing that is really powerful for me, and this has been really powerful for me for a long time, gratitude for things I hate, or I'll just put dislike. And there's too much to go into right now, but the point is that everything in the world combines together to make your life, and resistance of some sort is required for progress. You cannot progress in your life if you don't have something to struggle against. A good example of this is astronauts who go into outer space and they're out there with no gravity for a long time. Their muscles will atrophy, and they will not be good. And actually, even their eyes, I just read something about. Don't quote me on that, but they said that their vision can get worse over time because of not having maybe the pressure or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, you have to have resistance in order to grow. And you see that a lot in physical things, but really mentally. Like, people keep their mental vitality as they get older if they continue to learn and memorize things and all that kind of stuff, and they lose it a lot. So being grateful for the things that you dislike is actually huge. And it goes deeper than even just because it helps you to grow. Frankly, everything, I mean, yeah, you can go for a long time down that branch of thinking of why you should be grateful for everything, including things you don't like. But the fact is you should. Okay, the second to last thing, getting outside. This is actually one of the reasons why I have a hard time living in a climate where it's cold. I am very uncomfortable when it's cold. I hate being cold, but I have a hard time going outside. So I'm cooped up inside, I feel like, for a long time. And I don't know what it is about being outside, but for me, it's huge. I am much better off if I'm outside every day. And whether that is like sitting, exercising, playing, whatever it is, I'll write that. Sitting, exercising, playing, even taking a nap. There's like nothing better than an outside nap when you're not bothered by the elements or bugs or anything. Okay, and then the last thing that I just wanted to say is it's a conscious choice you can make at any time. And it's funny because I was thinking about it. I was just at the pool with my son and describe the way that it was in my head. But basically, if you think about the things that you like and that you want, they don't just always just pop up. Like, sometimes you actually have to try to get things. Like, you know, if you want food, you have to go buy it. You might have to work to get the money to go buy the food and all that kind of stuff. And it's the same thing, you know, part of me would love to just be this person who's just optimistic and listens to the positive voice 100% of the time naturally without anything. But the fact is, I don't. I don't know if I've known a couple of people who seem to, but anyway, if I'm like feeling bad sometime, you think, oh, I'm just down, it's a bad day, and I'm not trying to mock anybody. I've felt this way a lot. You can choose to the positive voice. It's not easy, and it takes practice. I've been practicing for a long time, so now it's a lot easier for me to just pop myself into a positive state. So it's not like a simple thing, but just know that you can do positivity by consciously choosing to get into positivity basically anytime. So I think that is it for now. Yep, and so we'll save this and we'll come back to this as I go through and revisit this at least a few. So that's it for now. Okay, bye.